the Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled is jewelry designer Thierry Vendome and photographer Teri Sanderson. Sculptor, jewelry designer Thierry Vendome was born and raised in Paris. He studied art history, did an internship at the Abbey in Belgium with the designer Jean-Pierre de Sadler, and traveled to China many times. In 2003, Thierry opened a workshop and store in the heart of the Marais. The Marais is a very avant-garde area. Why did you choose to go there?
Yes, because you have now the designer on this area. You have cultural Paris, and you have museum, Picasso Museum, Centre Pompidou, a lot of castle, hotel particulier. Hotel de Beauvais is in front of my shop. Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart lived in Hotel de Beauvais.
Is that right?
Yes, yes.
So that area was an artist area.
Yes.
It was very quiet for a long time. People didn't go there.
Yes, you have a lot of people for to see that this area. Yes.
Did the Pompidou change it? Did that bring more people down there?
Yes, yes. You have my shop is near of Island Saint-Louis, Ile Saint-Louis.
You worked with your father, who has a workshop on Rue Saint-Honoré.
Yes.
That's a very different area.
Yes, because my father work always now, and I don't open a shop near of.
Oh, you didn't want to?
No, it's not possible. And I prefer this area on the new designer, the young designer. Yes, yes.
Your father was in or still is in the Place Vendome.
Yes, yes.
And
yes.
is that where you got your name, or is that your real name?
It's. Have taken me the name of Jean Vendome. It's my father's name. Yes, yes, yes.
And then, of course, all his children are Vendome too.
Yes, yes. I have take for new generation. Yes.
And did he change his name?
Yes.
He did. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But everyone knows Jean Vendome because it's in the Place Vendome.
Yes, yes. Because in 50 years, it's. My father beginning, and the Place Vendome, it's better. You have jewelry and the big house. Of
more important jewelers are there.
Yes, yes.
I see. So
yes,
he was in that area.
Yes.
But you're more of an artist.
Yes.
So you chose a different kind of area to be in.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Did you always want to be a jewelry designer?
Yes, because my father is great creator and a pioneer jeweler, contemporary jeweler, and I have take my father virus. Yes.
Oh,
I
you
have
did want to.
I have take that. Yes.
So you did. Did you study with your father?
Yes. During 23 years, I have worked with him. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm going to while we're talking about what he did,
yes.
I'm going to show one of his pieces.
Yes, yes. It's
and you can tell me what this is.
It's a pearl pieces. Yes, yes. With gold and pearl. Yes.
Gold and pearl. This is completely different from the type of work you do. This is much more, how would you describe this?
Yes, you have a baroque necklace. Yes, yes. My father is it's a baroque for this style. Yes.
More Baroque style. When you were a child, you were surrounded by many artists.
By many artists. Yes, yes. My father know the academician, French academician Roger Caillois, the writer, American writer Julien Green, or the professor Lucien Israel, or Maurice Schumann, minister of de Gaulle, and other artists also.
And also the artists,
yes,
you mentioned Vasarely.
Vasarely and Salvador Dali. My father worked with Salvador Dali.
You know, your father's work did remind me a little bit of Dali's work. They had like a similarity in mind, I guess.
Yes, yes. My father has make papillon, a bird. Yes, a bird for Dali. And you have also other artists, painter, writer, photograph.
So those were all friends of your father's. Were they influencing you? Were you thinking about it?
Yes, it's very important for influence for my work. You have Paco Rabanne and Pierre Cardin. Pierre Cardin.
Even the designers?
Yes, yes. It's a very great stylist. You have see the Spanish painter or sculptor Chilida Milares. It's a very sauvage. It's a very wild painting. I like that. In my work, I like take wild style. Yes.
Something because a wild style. Yeah,
yes,
let's show this because this shows kind of a wildish style, doesn't it?
This is iron and rusted iron.
Rusted iron.
Yes, you have 3 parties in the necklace.
So this part comes.
Yes,
this part
if you
bends
want,
forward.
Yes, yes.
Let's see.
You can take that, or you have a ring. You have a ring. Donc in 3 parties.
You have a ring, and then you have this. You can wear the necklace.
Yes, 3 parties.
And you can have a brooch.
Yes, yes.
What is your favorite material?
Yes, it's opal.
Opal is your favorite material?
Yes, it's a very fantastic color. You have blue.
And then let me show some of these other things that you have too, because there are. Let me take this piece.
Yes,
This
it's
is opal again.
Yes, with diamond. You have this ring. Mobile.
Let me hold
circular,
those two together, and then we can show those. These are all different stones, though. You use a lot of different stones, only very hard edge, hard edge surfaces.
Yes, I like mobile artist, erotic, and Vasarely Agam.
Oh, Vasarely, because it has. I see.
That's iron earrings. Huh?
Hold it up
earrings,
to you. Yeah. Hold it up to your ear. Thierry, hold it up to your ear. There, that's great. What is your favorite material?
Oh, I like use recycling material. Yes, because you have different wood and stone. Beach, yes, it's a wood.
This is wood.
On the beach, yes, I have taken that. It's a silver on wood, yes. It's a brush.
This is driftwood, right?
Yes,
out of the beach,
driftwood, yes.
And then you just use the style of the wood and you make the silver around it?
Yes.
Maybe this is better. I can put this on here. And then, what influences you now?
It's for me, it's Spanish influence. Yes, Tapies or Ximénez Balaguer. It's a very very wild.
Do you go to the museum a lot?
Yes,
Do you go to museums?
yes.
You know, one thing I wanted to show another piece of your father's, because
Yes.
in 2000 there was a show of your father's work
Yeah.
and your work at the museum.
Yes, at the museum in Paris. It's yes. For 50 years, it's work to Jean Vendome. Yes.
What is the two Jean Vendomes, Thierry and Jean? What is this stone?
It's a paysanne stone. It's a very interesting because for my father, you have paysage of Dali.
Oh,
in
is that right?
Yes. It's a homage of Dali. Yes.
Oh, that's great. You sell in Paris, I know. Do you sell anywhere else?
What?
Do you sell your work in the United States?
Yes, I have work in China. China, it's very important to travel for me for my inspiration. And China, I have take in China the antique pottery, antique ceramic, antique coins. I have make a collection of jewelry. I have make exhibition with in collection in the
That
China
goes
piece.
back to found objects again, using somebody else's things and making pieces of jewelry and sculpture from them.
Yes. I like make by opposition diamond on the iron on the recycling material.
Like tough
Yes,
and then fine.
Yes.
You use-
Same
you-
the art of new realists.
I see.
New realists, same César, Armand, the sculpture,
Oh,
the
so
French sculpture, Tinguely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it does. Tingley does this.
Yes.
It has this feeling.
This it's very interesting because you have mobile. You can
Move it like
move
that.
it. Move
yeah.
that. Yes.
I'm going to do that, and as we say goodbye, I'm going to thank you because I know you're here from Paris, and I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to let you hold it up, actually, to your camera.
This
They're
ring is
beautiful.
special because I have had a award with this ring. You have a diamond here. You have an amethyst of 45 carats on the amethyst.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
and Thank
you.
you for visiting America.
Thank you for your invitation. Thank you. Thank you.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with photographer Teri Sanderson. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. I'm with photographer Teri Sanderson, who was born and raised in Southern California. She graduated with a degree in fine arts from UCLA, took classes in commercial photography at Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, and then she went on to teach photography there. The Culinary Institute of America in San Helena also had her teaching classes in photography, and Teri has a studio in St. Helena. She's an award-winning photographer, both for editorial and advertising. And when you were at UCLA, did you think you were going to have a career in food photography, Teri?
No, I didn't. I thought I was going to have a career in painting. And during my 20s, people kept offering to buy my photographs, and I was waiting for sales of the paintings, and finally it dawned on me that maybe my skill lay in photography.
Is that right? Were you taking photo classes at UCLA?
I was.
Oh, you were.
But
Who
it
were-
wasn't my specialty.
Who were your painting teachers there?
We had many great teachers at that time. Lynn Fowkes and
yeah.
Ed Rouchet and
Was Ed teaching there?
Uh-huh.
And
Diebenkorn was there. And,
Really?
yeah, it was really a fantastic time.
Very historic, too. Rouchet was the American representative at the Venice Biennale in 2005, and Diebenkorn was wonderful, represented in many museums, isn't he?
So it was a great influence on me, a great background.
This is interesting because you say your photographs are portraits.
Yes.
You know, when I was reading your bio, you referred to your photographs as portraits. Why do you do that?
I found that it was the same psychological aspects were needed to come into my photography studio in the morning and start with a blank white table and create a photograph out of color and light and texture, the same as painting.
Oh, so you just thought, you thought of them as portraits. Do you do portraits of people? Do you photograph people?
Not too many, but they're portraits of recipes and they're food ideas. They're a chef's food idea, especially when I work with my husband, Hugh Carpenter, and he's created a recipe that I know it has a personality of its own.
Oh, I see. That's interesting because I never thought about a food photograph as a portrait, but it is, actually, you're right. How do you approach a shoot?
I try to determine what the most significant aspect of the food is. Why are we even being asked to photograph this particular dish, you know? And usually with someone such as my husband, Hugh Carpenter, the food is very creative, and so he has a flavor idea that he's trying to emphasize.
Is that different than an editorial, or?
In editorial, you have more freedom
to
explore the personality of the food and the recipe.
So if something is put before you, I don't know, you've done all these books here that are on the set, but say a pasta dish. How do you actually go about photographing it? You have the pasta in front of you. Do you draw a picture, or what do you do?
I do. I try to plan it for a book such as a cookbook. Actually, the planning stages might take 2 days, and then the photo
Just for
one photo, and then the actual photography might take a half a day or a full day.
Why does it take so long? What do you use this notebook? You have a drawing, so do you do that for everything that you do?
I do. I start with a drawing, and you know, this is the shape of the piece of film, and then I get an idea of in my mind how it could appear and what props I could use that would make it make the personality of the food come alive.
So would somebody have to approve this drawing?
This is for an advertisement, so somebody had to approve it.
I see. So from there, where do you go?
From there, then we go in the studio. I shoot Polaroids.
Oh, I see. This is a Polaroid?
This is a Polaroid. So this is how it actually looked in the studio.
And hold that other one up, because it turned out very much like you expected. Did you have the real background there, the mountains and everything?
No, that was another photograph that was put in the background.
So it does take a lot of planning.
But to get the other photograph and know that it will work, and that all takes a long time.
Where do you find all these props?
Oh, that takes a lot.
Oh, then this is how it is reproduced?
This is how it was printed.
Oh, I see. That's the third step then. So you had to find, say, the holder for the wine. You had to find the wine glass, the bread basket. You bring all that, or do other people bring those to you?
Generally, I bring them. I like to be involved in every step of the production because I don't want surprises on the day of the shoot.
So, do you always use real food, or do you have some little tricks of the trade?
Generally, the biggest trick is that the food is undercooked, so it looks plump and juicy.
But you do use real food, because we were talking about food, what do we call them?
Food stylists.
Food stylists, who I know, Norman Stewart is a food stylist, and who helped us on the show for many years. And he did the mustaches. He did the milk mustaches, but he would never say what he had to add to it, because milk would just run down your mustache. It wouldn't stay.
But there are pretty strict laws governing food photography now.
That's what I wondered.
So we try to use the real food, but as I said, it's it is undercooked. And then you can do anything behind the food to make the lamb chops stand up.
Oh, you can.
I can have something behind it making them stand up, but
other than that, you have to use real food. Do the lights affect it during the day, or do you use lights?
It does, yes. And then you have to be prepared to make it over 2 or 3 times.
More food? You mean you have to have a lot of food there?
The same identical food.
Oh,
and you just substitute it in if you haven't got the right shot. by the time the food starts to look old, you have to begin again. So it's...
Does your preparation always take a lot of time?
Yes, it does.
It always is.
In my studio, the kitchen is right next to the shooting stage.
Okay,
so yeah, there's very good communication. If I'm working with a food stylist, I'm watching every step of it, and I know we don't lose any seconds from the time the food's ready.
But were you a food stylist at one? Can you do that?
I do a lot of food styling, especially for the books that I do with my husband.
And you taught, right? You
yes,
taught that.
I taught food photography and food styling to chefs.
I
see. The Culinary Institute of America, and I've also taught for other culinary schools. They like the chefs to know how to approach a photographer.
You've done 40 cookbooks.
More than 40.
More
maybe
than 40?
60.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you always find how do you find the right plate or the whole feeling of it all?
I'm really lucky now because there's so many talented ceramic artists and glass artists working in the United States.
Do you work with artists?
I do.
Do you collaborate with them?
I do. And sometimes, especially on a book that might take 6 months or 9 months to work on a book.
Does it take 9 months?
Mm-hmm. But that's such a nice time because then I can work with the vegetables and as they become fresh seasonally. And the artist can make me a new plate with more blue or more green. And
so you really do the work.
Mm-hmm.
As you decide to do something, do you put the food at the set, or do you make the set for the food? Because you might have something in mind and just keep that set until the right food comes along.
I do that also. I do sketches inside galleries and stores. I do sketches, and sometimes I color them in with colored pencils, or I'll do a digital photo, and I'll keep in mind that I want to use that plate, and I don't have quite the right recipe.
And then you just wait for that? That's what I wondered if you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just keep a file of those things? When I'm going to open this book, these books are so heavy, and just at random, like this. Tell us about this.
So this recipe had a Thai theme, so I chose this plate because it had, like a bamboo forest, and it had Thai elephants, and then I thought that it might look dry with the noodles, so I wanted to put those glasses of iced tea in there to give an accent, so you wouldn't feel too parched when you were looking at it.
I'm going to open. I'm going to find one more. This looks very green.
Yes, that's an Asian Caesar salad. It's my husband's recipe, of course, and I painted that background to go with it.
Is it a canvas or what is it?
It's a canvas, with an oil painting, a very quick sketch of an oil painting that I thought accented. The plate is made by a glass artist.
I see.
So,
I think this is so fascinating. And the back of this book.
I had a set designer make that for me from my sketch, and he made it better.
Because what are they? Little palm trees
and a crocodile, and so.
Do you ever not want to eat the food after you've photographed it?
Well, usually you can't eat the exact food that's in the photo because it might have sat there for quite a few hours.
So that's where the problems come in.
And if it's been undercooked also.
But what about eating? Does your palate change once you've worked with all this food?
Well, there's usually leftover ingredients. If we plan to make the recipe 2 or 3 times, say it's lamb chops, then we can all have lamb chops for dinner if we haven't cooked them all during the day.
And you like to do that?
Yes, we do.
What other kind of photography, aside from the food photography, do you like to do?
Well, because I live in Napa Valley now, I photograph a lot of wine. I work for many of the wineries, and it's a much more direct and immediate relationship with the clients.
What is the difference between food and wine? It seems like wine is a bottle. You just put it there.
I know. It's difficult to make a lively-looking photograph out of a
so
bottle.
What do you do?
Yes,
is that
we
right?
add a lot of food.
So you do add food?
Yes,
What about the color? Does the color have to be just...
Yes, it's very difficult lighting. it isn't something that I would have chosen in art school
Do you
to
shoot,
photograph a lot of wine.
do you shoot from the top? How do you shoot actually?
Well, we very often shoot from the side and try to get the right color of the wine, but the lighting's very difficult.
And even on the food, do you shoot down on the food? You must have to put your camera up on top and shoot down on.
Often I'm hanging over the set on a ladder.
Oh, that's what I wondered.
Yes, very often, yeah.
But in the wine, you wouldn't do that.
No, they like to see it from the side very often, to see through and see the color of the wine.
And then do they have specifics about what kind of glasses you should be?
Oh, yeah. Very specific.
So when you're doing that, that's advertising photography, right? So you really have to please them.
Yes.
When you're doing a cookbook, you can pretty much please yourself. I think
Our publishers, these books, all these fast books are with 10-speed press, and the publisher's very supportive.
And look, this has a lot of food on it, this page.
Yeah, this is an appetizer cookbook, so that's 3 separate recipes there.
And you put them all together. Well, I think you've done a magnificent job. I'm going to hold, what side should I hold up? This side?
That's good.
This is
yes,
good.
It
Oh, you
shows
know
4
what?
recipes.
I noticed on the inside there's like a piece of parsley on top of one of the pages. How do you do that?
Well, we photograph it on white, and then it's silhouetted and dropped into the page. And we like to emphasize the fresh herbs and spices.
How do you find the perfect parsley? How do you find
It takes a lot of searching.
Look, here's what is this?
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
It takes a lot of searching, and to find the compositional design element within the herb.
Oh, that's what I wondered. You've done a great job, and thanks for bringing us into this world of food photography.
Thank you, Joan. It's nice to share it.
And thanks for watching the Joan Quinn Profiles. We'll be back next time, and we want you to keep writing to 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, Los Angeles 90017. See you next time.